Back. Now, the ongoing discourse surrounding the proposed tax hike on sugar-sweetened beverages by the government has continued to spark conversations. The government says its aim is not only to generate revenue, but also to deter excessive consumption and encourage healthier choices among consumers. While advocates of the tax increase argue that it could serve as a powerful tool in combating related diseases, opposing views raise concerns about the aggressive nature of such taxes, questioning the effectiveness of taxation as a sole solution to complex public health issues. For more on this, I'm being joined by public health scientist from the United Kingdom, Dr. Francis Fagbule. Thank you so much, Dr. Fagbule. Good afternoon, and thank you for your time again.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think good afternoon to our viewers at home. I'm Francis Fagbule. I'm actually a public health dentist. I work with the University College Hospital Ibadan.
Great.
And a lecturer at the University of Ibadan. I'm
Great.
actually in the United Kingdom for a conference, interestingly related to some of these discussions. But
Great.
yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. That is interesting. Now, let me start with the statement from the Health Commissioner. And there's been mixed reaction to this. One side of it is, not at this time when Nigerians are grappling with serious economic challenges, that we should have such taxes. It would affect companies and all of that, producing these sweet beverages and all of that. On the other side, the argument is the impact and implication of this on health is something that is very important. Another school of thought says the money is generated from the taxes will be used to better the economy. Where do you stand in all of this, or what do you make of this submission by the commissioner?
Yeah, thank you very much again for asking me this question. I'm sure that probably in your earlier programs you may have mentioned this, but let me also remind our viewers, what are sugar-sweetened beverages? These are basically non-alcoholic beverages that contain sugar. You have the soft drinks, the energy drinks, and the likes. So what is the discussion around this? Sometimes you wonder, why is there a lot of arguments on it? Number one, we know that habitual consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages has been inextricably linked to non-communicable diseases, issues around diabetes mellitus, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases. So that is a fact. So I think we should be taking them one after the other. Now, the second fact is that what is the benefit of consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages? We know that consumption of these drinks does not add any or little nutritional value to the consumers. That is the second one. The third one is that we know that most people that take this habitually often find themselves almost impossible or difficult to take care of the health challenges that are associated with them. So where do I stand on this? You've introduced me as a scientist, and I'm going to talk as one. Based on science, highest level of evidence, I'm saying studies have been conducted all around the globe to confirm that habitual consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages leads to health problems. As a scientist, I've also known that these products do not add to you. Now, the issue that has been raised argument as to say, what is the effectiveness of taxation at this point? That is usually from the industry, because we also know from evidence that the imposition of taxation on sugar-sweetened beverages has been effective in other countries. We have them in United Kingdom, you have it here, and there are documentations that have shown that it has been effective. Okay, so let's leave high-income countries. Let's look at low and middle-income countries where Nigeria belongs. Mexico, it has been applied, it has been very effective. Maybe you say, okay, that's Mexico. In South Africa, the tax has been employed and it has been effective. So the point is, if it is done the right way, tax can be effective. So the last one is, with all the problems we are having now, why are we hiking the tax again? And that is where our people need to be educated. You see, you tax different products for different reasons. Now, taxation on cars, taxation on other things, food items. In this case, in fact, we call this the sin tax. It is a pro-health tax because the ultimate reason for this tax is for people to reduce their consumption of it. And we know that when prices increase, then that is a bit of a motivation for you to say, you know what? Oh, I think this one bottle is enough. Do you understand me? And the benefit is to me. Funny thing is that, you see, we call this a win-win-win situation. That is the SSB tax. The number one win is that if I, Francis Fagbule, because now the cost of payment for a bottle of soft drink is higher, I decide to choose water. What I have invariably done for myself is I have prevented the possible diseases that is associated with the consumption, habitual consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages. It means I may not get sick as I could have. So that is a benefit to me. The second benefit is the other one for the government to say, okay, with this, they will be able to generate more money, that it is expected that that money will then be plowed back into the healthcare system to further take care of people, especially those that have been sick as a result of consumption of some of these products. The third win is that, you see, the industry have been strategic to target those in the lower income. You understand? And we know that these are even the people that when they get sick, they are not able to afford treatment. Now, if those people quit or reduce their consumption, it means that in the long run, they are even benefiting. So I think our viewers, the populace, should understand that a tax on a product that does not contribute anything nutritious to your body cannot be categorized of the body overburdening the people. You see, people don't know that an average bottle of soft drink contains close to about 14 cubes of sugar. Now, that may sound big, but you don't know the enormity. As a human being, you get your sugar, if you put it that way, from the food you eat, the rice, the beans, and coke. It means that you don't need other added or excess sugar in your body. But a bottle of soft drinks that then contain something like that in one bottle will only hurt you. So, not to waste time, this issue of taxation on sugar-sweetened beverages, number one, is a pro-health tax. The ultimate goal is for people to reduce their consumption of it such that they can have an healthier life. Now, when the industry say that people is going to cause economic effect, you see, they just say it without providing data. So next time, ask them for data. How many people are losing their jobs? From my experience, because I told you I'm in the UK for a conference on tobacco control, the tobacco industry. They consider those people that are walking on the street to say that if people are not buying these soft drinks, they will be out of job. But is that truly correct? No, that is not correct. Because if Iyashalewa notice that people are not buying this soft drink, Iyashalewa will shift to what people are buying. And again, evidence from other countries, including Mexico, has shown that even though there was a reduction in the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages, they got an increment in the consumption of water. So it means that people started taking more water as a result of that taxation. Now, water is good for them. Interestingly, it is still the same industry that are producing the sugar-sweetened beverages that are also going to be making profit from the production of water. So you see why I said, why is this really an issue?
Dr. Fagbule, allow me to interject you and ask you this question. Some have also argued, one is, of course, Nigeria is a struggling economy at the moment, considering the challenge that we face. But let me follow up with saying, some also argue that tax might necessarily not discourage the consumption. For example, tobacco remains dangerous to your health, and they say tobacco smokers are liable to die young. But people still smoke. What do you make of that?
Thank you very much. You see, that is when you say fallacy of hasty generalization. People see people smoke. I know somebody who smoke. Do you know the prevalence of tobacco use in the country before the tax? Then you look at what is now the prevalence of it after the tax. And I can tell you categorically that in our country, Nigeria, we've seen a useful reduction in the consumption of tobacco smoking as a result of it. You know what the industry is now doing? They are now introducing the new tobacco products, the shisha, the e-cigarettes, to be able to again distort the understanding of the people, targeting the youth. Let me tell you, that is what the industry does. The industry tries to confuse people. They don't provide the real information, just that people get hooked on their product. But let's go on the sugar-sweetened beverages. Again, let us look at facts. Look at the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages in South Africa before the tax. This was the same way the industry were up and about. In fact, they took the government to court to say, no, you are hurting the people. But let's look at it now. We have seen a reduction. Again, I mentioned to you in the United Kingdom, the same thing. So let's not the industry deceive us. I am a public health scientist, and we know that when the taxation is effectively applied, now that is where the key word is. You see, currently in Nigeria, we have 10 naira per liter of excise tax. Now, do you know what that means, sir? What it means is that if a bottle of soft drink costs 200 naira, 500 ml, it means that the government is saying add how much? 10 naira per liter, and it's not up to a liter. So you are adding 5 naira to it. So that means a bottle that is sold for 200 naira should now be sold for 205 naira. Let's be sincere to ourselves. That is what will make people go into whatever they are saying? No. The truth is that, as a matter of fact, based on the recommendation of the World Health Organization and what we have seen practiced from other countries, you need at least a taxation that will cause a 20% increment in the retail prices of that product. Interestingly, we have a study now that has been conducted in Nigeria that tells us what is even the right or ideal taxation that should be in the sugar-sweetened beverages. The good thing is the government of Nigeria has taken a step in the right direction. They are baby steps of 10 naira per liter. What way the masses should be discussing now is, let us take it to the global best practice such that we will feel the effect. Now, the second thing that causes non-effectiveness is if it is not applied well, if it is not enforced well. What the industry does is that, you see that 5 naira that is supposed to be added to it, they absorb it. So it's not passed through to the retailer. So it means that the effect is not even felt. The government must ensure that effect goes to the retail prices so that people will reduce it. You and I buy things around. You have that sense that when you call somebody, you feel thirsty. You call someone, you say, so what is the bottle of this soft drink? It says 200 naira. You call the bottle of water, it says 200 naira. Some of you will like it. Oh, let me get this soft drink. It contains water and something added to it. But when you call next time, I say the bottle is 300 naira, but water is 100 naira. You will say, I'm just thirsty. Let me just take water. Now, that is the behavior change that this tax is supposed to help us with. And I think all of us should support it because it will work if we all embrace it. Thank you so much.
Brilliant submission. But before I let you go, Doc, standard content of the product and, of course, monitoring it is something that some say government should do. That there could be a standard, and of course they monitor it. That could also help reduce consumption. I don't know what you make of that and what more you think Nigerians need to know about this topic of discourse.
Yes, so you see, there are different types of taxes or taxation. You have the excise tax, where they just put the money. In some other countries like UK that I mentioned, what they did was to say, if the product contains as much sugar of maybe 5 grams and above, we are going to impose a tax of maybe 24 pounds or something. If it is below that, we are going to impose a tax of this. Now, I will not probably advocate that for Nigeria. You know why? Because it is difficult for us to monitor. You understand? For you to then, will the industry even declare how much? Many times do they even label the correct amount of this product on their label? No. What is good, for example, at least for now, is excise tax means that we know the bottle contains 1 liter. This is the amount that is on 1 liter. That if the government is ready to implement that, it is easier to implement, and it's oftentimes more I think, desirable. So talking about standards, again, I repeat, content of sugar-sweetened beverages is just overloading your body with calories that the body does not need. Hence, which people should be discouraged from excessive consumption. One of the most effective ways, single most effective way, is by sugar-sweetened beverages tax. Other factors will add to it. Public engagement, public education. But for people to say no, tax is not effective, it is not the way to go, they are just trying to be clever by half. Because, again, this is a concluded science. There's a conclusive evidence on the effectiveness. Let me tell you, I'm a dentist. I belong to the International Association of Dental Research. And I can tell you categorically that the international association, has dissociated itself now from the sugar-sweetened beverages industries. They don't even want to collect their money for advertisement. That is what sane organizations are doing. We are not saying that the industry should collapse. Please get me right. They are part of the economy. They contribute to the economy. And we know from evidence that they are not going to collapse. Remember what I said, in Mexico, people reduced the consumption of the wrong habitual consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages, but they started taking more water. It is still the same industry that make that water. So they will continue to make money. But you know that these sugar-sweetened beverages can be addictive. Yes, I've been addicted before. So that is some of the reasons why they keep pushing these things to us. They want to build the Nigerian economy. You can't build an economy when the people are sick. You lose productively. If somebody is sick, the person cannot contribute to the economy of the nation, number one. Number two, the person is on the sick bed, so he's also paying money to take care of himself, number two. Again, you know why the Nigerian government has probably not taken this to the right level? Because the insurance is not well plated out. People are still paying out of pocket.
Indeed.
Assuming the government is paying and treating the people,
Indeed.
And they see the enormous amount that they are spending just because people are healed, they will take this much more than 10 naira per liter and take it where it should be. And that is what we are saying that is going to, again, help the people. I think these are my submissions. Thank you so much.
Dr. Francis Fagbule, I must thank you so much. Public health scientist with training in community dentistry, global health, and tobacco control from Ibadan, Nigeria. Thank you so much. It's good to have you. But you joined us live from the United Kingdom, though. Do enjoy the rest of your day. I hope to see you when you're back.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, then.
Bye for now.
All right, then. Well, interesting conversation. We'll stay on